catching wind now that grocery stores are being told to prepare to increase their prices in the second half of 2023. This is because the grain deal in Russia fell apart. 60,000 tons of grain were destroyed in one port just due to a night attack that took place at the Russian Federation of Odessa's region. The Minister of Agricultural Policy and Food in the region said that the grain destroyed by the Russian army should have been loaded up into a large ship and sent through the corridor, what they call the grain corridor, 60 days ago. This grain, they warn, is needed by other countries, most often the countries in the Middle East or in Africa. And what's happening is your food is either going to go up in price so that Mondelez or Kraft or whoever provides it to you here in the USA, over in Britain, or even in Canada, they're either going to have to pay more, a premium, just to get that grain onto your soil, or they're going to give that food to a country that needs it a little bit more, like Africa or the Middle East, or an African country, excuse me. So be prepared for your prices to go up. We're starting to see this absolutely happen across the USA. They say by destroying this grain, Russia potentially killed thousands of people who will no longer receive it. Now, to me, that's a little bit of a stretch, but what they're trying to do now is rack the emotions of people across the world to get them to back this NATO fight against Russia. I want you to know that what we are experiencing right now is being called a commodities war, or a paper versus commodities war. Back in May, China decreased their holdings of the U.S. Treasury bond to a 12-year low. This is the second largest creditor to the United States of America, decreasing their bonds holding. They are stockpiling gold right now. They are warning that foreign trade is going to begin facing an extremely severe situation here in the next couple of weeks. Get ready. Your dollar is going to fall apart. Turkey and the United Arab Emirates are raising their relation levels to what they consider to be a strategic partnership. The UAE ruler awarded one of the highest civil decorations to the UAE to the Turkish president, Tayyip Erdogan. They're going to start making deals behind the backs of the United States dollar. But this war isn't over yet, and the Russian Ministry of Defense has announced that any ship, whether an ally or an enemy, whether a NATO ship or just a container ship, which enters the Black Sea, that appears to be heading toward a Ukrainian port starting at midnight last night, moving forward all the way to July 20th and beyond, will be considered a hostile transport ship carrying military-grade weapons and will be acted upon by the Russian Navy. Putin of Russia says that the Western grain deal and the partners of that deal did not intend ever to implement the deal for Russia. And Russia, according to Putin, showed miracles of tolerance when it renewed the deal. And now it has shown the world that Russia's tolerance is wearing thin. The United States of America announced an additional $1.3 billion in security assistances to Ukraine. I was starting to get a little bit worried, and I'm sure that you were too, that we weren't funding this war enough. Israel said that when the USA is strong, Israel is stronger. When Israel is strong, the United States is more secure. We are moving into a time right now that really just goes beyond belief, and how this warmongering continues. We're watching a pot being stirred that no one wants to eat. And what we do is have to get ready for the fallout for what comes next. Israel will attack the Russian by proxy Iranian nuclear sites. This will spill radiation across the Middle East. Russia has no qualms about using nuclear weapons or allowing a nuclear weapon to be used either in European regions or maybe even in the USA. The future is dark and daunting.